What happens after you appear on the podcast? You said that there might be immediate benefits, and also want to get into how would you recommend that we've been on a good podcast? We have an engaging conversation. I thought I did okay. So how do we actually promote and benefit from the episode?
This is where a lot of people fall short of, because I know I've talked to other podcasters that they've expressed that people just don't get as excited as they seem to have been when they did the interview. And a lot of reasons come up for that. Some people just go on every podcast they can when they work the circuit, and maybe they had 4 or 5 interviews come out at once. So their job's done. They're not going to promote it. That's one reason why that doesn't get shared. But ultimately, I think one of the biggest reasons is they did this interview months ago, and the level of excitement has waned a bit for them. So what I tell everyone, if you're going to be a guest, and if you promise that podcaster up front that you're going to share that content, follow through. And you should be happy to follow through, because this is content that, other than the actual contribution you made with your guest appearance, they put everything else together for you. And in my training program, we talk about things that you can do outside of just that interview to keep the value up. But ultimately, this was evergreen content that someone else took the time to build, and you're the star in that respect. You're in the guest seat with a very bright spotlight shined on you. Share that with your community. You should be proud to share that with your community. This is another way that you can showcase that your reputation is growing and you truly know what you're talking about. More people are going to see that. More shows you do, they're going to say, wow, Swire really knows his stuff. Look, they've got him on here, and I just heard him on this show last week. This is all great. And they buy into you a little bit more every time they hear you go on a show and showcase your expertise. Whatever they put out, and a lot of podcasters will supply you with assets that they design. Here's some imagery you can share. Here's some short form video clips that I put together. Here's the show notes in a blog post. There's a number of things that they might put together, but you could go so far as to ask them when everything is done with the interview, and if you get a chance today, can you send me over the raw file? I'm going to clip a couple videos of my own. I've never had a podcaster say no to that. And that's another way that you can clip a couple videos, build it into a reel for Instagram, put it on a YouTube short, just something that gets people excited to say, maybe I want to check out this podcast and listen to the whole thing so I can get more value from this person. If you leave these opportunities on the table, you're costing yourself chances to really make a bigger impact with the community that you've already built. And once you build that community or build that impact with that community, of course, you want them to take that next step and become a customer. Some people will take longer to do that, but the more you keep putting value in front of them, it could bring them closer to where you want them to be. And again, like I said, somebody else did this work for you. Podcast production is not easy. So if someone else is willing to bring you on the show and then do all that great work for you, take a few minutes to tell the world how proud you are to be on that show.